Most people have a bottle of hydrogen peroxide sitting in their bathroom cabinet right now, and they have no idea what it can really do. Every summer, millions of Americans throw away money on cleaners, sprays, and replacement items they didn't need to buy in the first place. And the worst part? Nobody tells you this. The store certainly isn't going to. Today, we're counting down 20 hydrogen peroxide summer uses that can save you real money around the house, in the yard, and even in the car. Stick with us, because number 1 might be the one that saves you the most. Number 20. Cleaning out water bottles and sippy cups. Here's a problem almost every household has in the summer. Reusable water bottles and sippy cups get used constantly when it's hot out, and after a while, they start to smell musty no matter how many times you wash them. Most people don't realize that smell is bacteria and mildew building up in places a brush can't reach. The usual fix is buying special tablets or just replacing the bottle. But here's what most people don't know. A cap full of hydrogen peroxide, filled with warm water and left to sit for 15 minutes, breaks all of that down. Rinse it out and the smell is gone. This is the part nobody talks about. Those cleaning tablets can run you $10 or $15 a box every summer for something a $2 bottle of peroxide handles instantly. Small savings like this add up fast when you're watching your budget. But that's not the only place people lose money on cleaning products they don't need. Number 19. Sweat stains and yellow underarm marks. Summer heat means more sweating, and more sweating means those stubborn yellow stains on your favorite shirts. Most people just give up and toss the shirt in the donation pile, or worse, buy a brand new one. Here's where it gets interesting. Those yellow marks are usually a reaction between sweat, deodorant, and the fabric itself. A mix of 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts water, dabbed directly on the stain before washing, can lift it right out. You may need to let it sit for 30 minutes, but it works far more often than people expect. Think about how many shirts, blouses, and undershirts get quietly thrown away every summer because of this one problem. If you're on a fixed income, replacing clothes you didn't have to replace is money you'll never get back. Now this next one is even more surprising, especially if you do a lot of cooking in the summer. Number 18. Disinfecting kitchen sponges. This one is important and very few people know it. Your kitchen sponge can actually hold more bacteria than your bathroom doorknob. In the summer with more cooking, more grilling prep, and more dishes, that sponge gets dirty fast. Most people either keep using a dirty sponge or throw it away and buy a new one every week or two. Here's the catch. Soaking your sponge in a bowl of hydrogen peroxide for about 10 minutes kills most of what's living in there, and it also helps with that sour smell. You can stretch the life of a sponge for weeks longer than you normally would. At $1 or $2 per pack, that doesn't sound like much, but multiply that by every household in America buying sponges every single week, and you start to see how much is being spent on something this simple fixes. Let's move to something almost everyone deals with in the summer garden. Number 17. Cleaning produce before you eat it. Most people rinse their fruits and vegetables under plain water and call it done. But here's what most people don't realize. Plain water doesn't remove much of the residue, dirt, or bacteria that can be on produce, especially anything from a farmer's market or your own backyard garden. A small amount of hydrogen peroxide added to a bowl of water, with your produce soaking for a few minutes, helps clean it more thoroughly than water alone. Rinse well afterward. This matters for 2 reasons. First, it's about your health, especially if you're someone managing a condition where food safety matters more. Second, it means your produce stays fresh longer, so you're not throwing away berries and lettuce halfway through the week because they went bad early. Wasted food is wasted money, plain and simple. Now here's one that surprises a lot of people who love spending time in their garden. Number 16. Garden pest and fungus spray. If you grow tomatoes, peppers, or really anything in pots or a garden bed, you've probably dealt with little bugs or that white powdery fungus that shows up on leaves in humid weather. Most people head straight to the store and buy a bottle of pesticide or fungicide, and those bottles aren't cheap, often $10 to $20 each. What most people don't know is that a diluted hydrogen peroxide spray, just a small amount mixed into a spray bottle of water, can help knock back mild fungus issues and discourage some soft-bodied pests on contact. It's not a replacement for serious infestations, but for the everyday stuff most backyard gardeners deal with, it's often enough. That's money back in your pocket and one less chemical bottle sitting in your garage. If this has been helpful so far, take a second to subscribe. We post practical money-saving information like this every week so you don't miss something that could affect your finances. Number 15. Perking up houseplants and preventing root rot. Indoor plants struggle in the summer more than people expect, especially with air conditioning drying things out or, on the flip side, overwatering causing root rot. Most people don't realize that a weak hydrogen peroxide solution, just a little bit added to your watering can, adds extra oxygen to the soil. This can help roots that are struggling and even discourage some of the fungus that causes root rot in overwatered pots. Here's why this matters for your wallet. Replacing houseplants, especially anything that's gotten a little bigger and more established, isn't cheap. Some plants run $20, $30, even $50 depending on the size. Keeping the plants you already have alive and healthy means you're not constantly replacing them every time the seasons change. This next one is something almost every homeowner deals with at some point. Number 14. Whitening grout and tile. Bathroom and kitchen grout gets dingy fast in the summer, especially with more showers, more sweat, and more humidity in the house. Most people either live with discolored grout or call in a professional cleaning service, which can cost over $100 depending on the size of the job. Here's the catch. A paste made from hydrogen peroxide and baking soda, scrubbed onto grout lines and left for a few minutes before rinsing, can brighten grout significantly without harsh chemical cleaners. This is one of those projects that makes your whole bathroom look refreshed, for the price of two things you probably already have under the sink. Many Americans miss this completely and end up paying someone else to do something they could have handled themselves for pocket change. Now, if you like to grill in the summer, this next one is for you. Number 13. Cleaning grill grates. After a summer of cookouts, grill grates build up grease and char that regular scrubbing barely touches. Most people either soak their grates in expensive grill cleaner sprays or eventually just buy new grates altogether. What most people don't know is that hydrogen peroxide, applied directly to the grates and left to sit for a bit before scrubbing, helps break down that built-up grime so it comes off much easier. This is the part nobody talks about. New grill grates can cost anywhere from $20 to $60 depending on your grill. If a simple soak gets your old ones clean and working like new, that's money you don't have to spend before your next backyard get-together. Here's one that affects anyone with a porch, patio, or outdoor furniture. Number 12. Removing mildew from outdoor cushions and umbrellas. Summer humidity is brutal on outdoor furniture. Those black or green spots that show up on patio cushions and umbrellas are mildew, and once it starts, it spreads fast. Most people assume the cushions are ruined and either toss them or buy replacement covers, which can run $30 to $60 per cushion depending on the size. Here's what most people don't realize. A hydrogen peroxide and water mixture, sprayed directly on the mildew spots and left to sit before scrubbing with a brush, lifts a surprising amount of that staining. Let it dry in direct sunlight afterward for the best results. Instead of replacing an entire patio set's worth of cushions every couple of summers, you might just need to spend a few minutes with a spray bottle. Now, this next one is for anyone who enjoys their backyard birds. Number 11. Cleaning bird baths and feeders. If you've got a bird bath or feeder in your yard, you've probably noticed that green, slimy algae that builds up fast in summer heat. Most people scrub it with soap, which doesn't always cut through it, or they buy specific bird bath cleaning products. Very few people know this, but a small amount of hydrogen peroxide added to the water before scrubbing helps break down that algae buildup, and it's safer for the birds than many commercial cleaners once it's rinsed away. This keeps your bird bath looking nice without a special trip to the store, and it means the birds you enjoy watching all summer keep coming back to a clean spot. This next mistake can be even more expensive than people think. Number 10. Brightening white sneakers and shoes. Summer means more white shoes, more sandals, and more scuffs and yellowing on the soles and fabric. Most people either live with dingy-looking shoes or replace them entirely, and a decent pair of sneakers isn't cheap anymore, often running $50 or more. Here's where it gets interesting. A paste of hydrogen peroxide and baking soda, applied to the white parts of your shoes and left for a couple of hours in the sun, can brighten them up noticeably. The sunlight actually helps activate the peroxide for an even better result. This is a simple trick that can stretch the life of a good pair of shoes for another season, instead of replacing them just because they're looking a little dull. Now, here's something almost every kitchen deals with. Number 9. Cleaning and disinfecting cutting boards. Summer means more grilling prep, more cutting raw meat, and more chopping fresh produce, all on the same cutting boards. Most people wash their boards with soap and water and assume that's enough. What most people don't know is that soap and water doesn't fully disinfect, especially on wooden or plastic boards with small grooves from years of use. Wiping down your cutting board with hydrogen peroxide after washing, then rinsing, gives it an extra layer of disinfection that soap alone misses. This matters because a cutting board that's properly cared for can last for years longer than one that gets worn out, cracked, or replaced early because it starts looking and smelling off. Replacing cutting boards every year or two adds up over time. Now, for anyone with kids or grandkids visiting this summer, this next one is a big one. Number 8. Removing grass stains from clothes. If you've got grandkids running around the yard this summer, you know grass stains are inevitable. Most people either give up on the stain entirely or use heavy-duty stain removers that can cost $5 or $6 a bottle and still don't always work. Here's the catch. Hydrogen peroxide applied directly to a grass stain, left to sit for about 30 minutes before washing, can lift grass stains that regular detergent leaves behind. This is especially helpful for lighter-colored clothing where grass stains are the most noticeable and the hardest to ignore. Instead of writing off a shirt or a pair of shorts every time the kids come over, you might be able to save it with something already in your cabinet. This next one is for anyone who has a small pool or hot tub at home. Number 7. Helping clean a small above-ground pool or hot tub between treatments. A lot of retirees enjoy a small above-ground pool or a hot tub in the summer, but keeping the water clear can get expensive fast with all the chemicals involved. Most people don't realize that hydrogen peroxide is actually used in some specialty pool care systems as an oxidizer. For a small pool or hot tub, a careful, properly diluted addition can help freshen the water between your regular treatments. This is not a replacement for your normal pool chemicals or testing routine, but it can be a helpful addition that stretches out how often you need to buy your main chemical supplies. Pool chemicals add up quickly over a summer, so anything that helps you use less of the expensive stuff is worth knowing about. Now here's one that affects anyone who packs lunches, snacks, or drinks for summer outings. Number 6. Cleaning coolers and lunch boxes. After a summer of beach trips, picnics, and backyard parties, coolers and lunch boxes start to smell, especially if something leaked or sat a little too long. Most people either live with the smell or end up buying a new cooler because the old one seems impossible to clean. Very few people know this, but wiping down the inside of a cooler with hydrogen peroxide, then letting it air dry in the sun, helps eliminate odors that regular soap and water leave behind. A good cooler can cost anywhere from $30 to over $100. Cleaning the one you already have, instead of replacing it because of a smell, is an easy way to avoid an unnecessary purchase. Now, this next one is something almost every driver runs into during the summer months. Number 5. Cleaning bug splatter off your windshield and car. Summer driving means bugs, and bug splatter on your windshield and the front of your car can be incredibly stubborn once it dries in the heat. Most people either scrub hard enough to risk scratching their paint, or they pay for a car wash with a bug removal add-on, which can tack on extra dollars every single visit. Here's what most people don't know. Hydrogen peroxide applied to a cloth and gently wiped over dried bug residue helps break it down so it comes off with much less scrubbing. This protects your car's paint and your windshield from scratches caused by scrubbing too hard, and it means you're not paying extra at the car wash all summer long just for this one issue. We're getting close to the top now, and this next one is something that affects almost every household. Number 4. Disinfecting trash cans. Summer heat makes trash cans smell faster than any other time of year, both indoors and outdoors. Most people just deal with the smell, spray air freshener over it, or in extreme cases, replace the trash can entirely because the smell won't go away. This is the part nobody talks about. Hydrogen peroxide, sprayed or wiped inside a trash can, and left to sit before rinsing. Helps break down the bacteria causing that smell at the source, rather than just covering it up. Outdoor trash cans, especially the heavier duty kind, can cost $40 or more to replace. If a thorough cleaning with something you already have on hand solves the smell problem, that's a purchase you can skip entirely. Now, this next one might surprise you, especially if you've been dealing with this problem for a while without knowing the cause. Number 3. Cleaning ceiling fans and outdoor light fixtures. Summer means ceiling fans running constantly, and outdoor light fixtures attracting bugs and moisture, which leads to grime and sometimes mild mold buildup, especially in covered porches and humid climates. Most people either ignore this completely or hire someone to come clean fixtures they can't easily reach. What most people don't know is that a cloth dampened with hydrogen peroxide can wipe away grime and mild mold from fan blades and light covers far more effectively than a dry dust cloth. This not only makes your home look cleaner, it can also help your fans and lights run a little more efficiently when they're not coated in buildup. Hiring someone for a deep cleaning job like this can run you $50 or more for just a few fixtures. And now, before we get to number 1, here's a quick one that's especially useful if you run a window air conditioning unit or a humidifier through the summer. Number 2. Cleaning humidifiers and window air conditioning units. If you run a humidifier or a window air conditioning unit through the hot months, you've probably noticed a musty smell or even some visible buildup inside the water tank or drip tray. Most people either ignore it, which isn't great for the air you're breathing, or they replace the unit thinking it's worn out. Here's where it gets interesting. A diluted hydrogen peroxide solution run through the tank or wiped on the drip tray and rinsed thoroughly helps break down the mineral and mold buildup causing that smell. This can extend the life of a unit you already own, and a decent window AC unit isn't cheap to replace, often running well over $100. A little maintenance goes a long way here. And now, for the one that surprises people the most and can potentially save you the most money of anything on this list. Number 1. Removing mold from windowsills and bathroom surfaces. Summer humidity, especially in homes without central air or in older houses, leads to mold and mildew showing up on windowsills, bathroom tile, and around windows where condensation builds up. Most people see this and panic, thinking they need to call a professional mold remediation company, which can cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the size of the affected area. Here's the catch. For surface-level mold and mildew, which is what most homeowners actually deal with, hydrogen peroxide sprayed directly onto the affected area, left to sit for 10 minutes, then scrubbed and wiped clean, is remarkably effective. It's one of the few household products that actually kills mold at the surface rather than just bleaching the color out, which is what some other common cleaners do. For seniors and retirees on a fixed budget, the difference between handling this yourself with a $2 bottle versus paying a remediation company is enormous. This single item alone could be the most valuable thing on this entire list. So there you have it. 20 ways a simple bottle of hydrogen peroxide can help you save money around your home this summer. From your kitchen sponge to your car windshield, all the way to mold removal that could save you hundreds. These are the kinds of small, practical tips that add up to real savings over time, especially if you're living on a fixed income and every dollar matters. Which one of these surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, go ahead and subscribe, because we share practical, money-saving tips like this every single week.